Hey, listener, welcome back to the What's Up Casselberry podcast. This is Drew Taylor, and Andy and I have a special treat for you. We had the privilege of participating in partnership with the Casselberry Chamber of Commerce, State of the City. This is an annual event where different leaders from the Casselberry community gather together to discuss the happenings that are occurring within Casselberry. This year, we had the privilege of hearing from the Chief of Police, Larry Krantz, our Mayor, Dave Henson, City Manager, Randy Newland, and Superintendent of Seminole County, Dr. Walt Griffin. The following will be their conversation hosted by our very own Andy Searles. We hope you enjoy.
Welcome, everybody. Special welcome to our panelists, who I will introduce in just a moment. But before I do, let me welcome a few other special guests as well. We have two of our commissioners with us today, Commissioner Andrew Meadows and Mark Bush. Welcome. Thank you for being a part of this conversation. Also, I would like to welcome Dr. Tina Calderon and Karen Almond from our school board. It's good to see you both. I trust you are well rested after a marathon meeting on Monday. You're certainly looking good anyway, so thank you. And talking of that meeting, I would also like to welcome our brand new school superintendent, Sarita Beeman. Sarita, we are thrilled that you're with us today. Congratulations on this new appointment, and know that we as a chamber and our community want to support you and help you succeed in any way that we can. So welcome today as well. So today, this is probably going to be the most unusual state of the city yet. So bear with us. I'm going to be going to try and be a little assertive with our panelists so we can stick within the time. And if that comes across as rude, please forgive me. That is not my intent as well. So I'd like to introduce our guests. I'm going to introduce them one at a time. After each introduction, I'd like to ask you an icebreaker question, if I could, before we dive into our topics today. So first of all, let me start by introducing Dr. Walt Griffin. Dr. Griffin was appointed our superintendent, our school superintendent here in Seminole County in 2012. And very soon he will be de-appointed as our superintendent as well. But Dr. Griffin has led our school system for the past 9 years with great success, innovating, leading, developing, and strengthening who we are as a county through the educational leadership he offers. He's been voted one of the best CEOs in Central Florida, as well as Superintendent of the Year in 2019. This will probably be Dr. Griffin's last appearance with us on the State of the City, but we would love to have you back sometime next year to talk about the state of your retirement, Dr. Griffin. Dr. Griffin, your icebreaker question, you like nature and getting outside. What is your favorite trail in Seminole County?
Yeah, I live in Oviedo, and hands down, I love the Oviedo Trail and Oviedo on the Park. That whole area, I'm on it just about every day and just love it.
That's great. Thank you for being with us today, Dr. Griffin.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it. Next up, I'd like to introduce our city manager, Randy Newland. Randy, we're delighted that you're here today. Randy has been our city manager since 2012. A lot of good things happened in 2012, I guess, in terms of leadership in our city and county. Randy has no plans to retire anytime soon, right, Randy? But before he was our city manager, he was also in city leadership in the finance division as our finance director. He's a graduate from UCF, Go Knights. He's worked in public accounting, the private sector, and even for the federal government, but he's now sharing his steady and stable leadership here with us in Casselberry. Randy, you have overseen a lot of projects in our parks. Which is your favorite Casselberry park?
Guess I'd go with Lake Concord Park. At this point, I love them all. and they all have so much potential. But Lake Concord Park is right now the jewel of our park system.
And it's right outside your office as well, so you get to see that probably most frequently.
Very fortunate with that.
Our next panelist is going to be Mayor Dave Henson. Dave was elected as our mayor this past August, where he's currently serving his first term. But prior to that, he's been a commissioner for a number of years before taking a break, and we're thrilled that he is back at the helm and back in leadership within our city. Dave actively participates in a group called the Future of Hunting in Florida. He's a certified archery instructor and a state certified hunter safety instructor and the vice president of the Florida Bow Hunters Association. You may not have known that, but both in archery and in leadership, Mayor Henson is a straight shooter. You can laugh. I was working on that all morning. Dave, where is your favorite place to eat within our city?
I'd probably have to say Benzo's. That's my go-to. It's just a very comfortable place. Really nice folks.
That's great. Thank you. Thanks for being with us today, Mayor Henson. And our fourth guest is going to be Chief Larry Krantz. Chief Krantz started his career in law enforcement in 1984, holding many leadership positions within the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Before joining the Sheriff's Office, Chief Krantz was a part of the military police in the Army. He's been our chief for the past 6 years, since 2015. And during that time, our crime numbers have gone down and our city's safety has gone up. Our chief models integrity, earns respect within our city everywhere he goes because of his thoughtful leadership, his strong communication skills, and his deep sense of personal integrity. Chief, where's your favorite place to visit in Casselberry?
Out to visit. Wow, there's a number of them, but I'd have to jump on board with the city manager, Lake Concord Park, especially during the holidays. It's just such a wonderful place to come with your friends and family, and it's relaxed. And I also get a nice view from my office window as well.
Yes, you do. Thank you for being with us, Chief. We appreciate you all today. So I've got a few questions. We'll get through as many as we can, and we're going to try and make a hard stop at 12:55 to wrap up. But let's start with this first question, and I'll just ask you to answer it in turn, and I'll invite you to give an answer. But we'll start with you, Dr. Griffin, if you would. We know this has been a tough year for everybody. Unprecedented. We've changed. We've pivoted. We've had to do things differently. But within your realm of authority, what is the biggest obstacle that you have faced this year, and how have you addressed that?
Hands down, the biggest obstacle and greatest challenge are the mental health needs of our employees and of our students. When we have 100% of our students with us face to face, the adults around them are trained to look for indicators, do referrals, and that type of thing. Having so many students, about 35% of our students are still online, is a challenge for us. So we worry a lot about mental health. Really, we worry about what we don't see and what we don't know. And I have to tell everybody, I am so anxious for the day when all the kids are back face to face. I think it's just better for everybody. But mental health is what keeps me up at night.
What are some of the things that you're doing to try and address that challenge?
Yeah, we've worked with all of our educators and our teachers through mental health training and even indicators to look for when students are online. We've asked all the students to get their cameras on. At secondary, at first, this was all new to us. A lot of the students didn't have their cameras on. Well, you have to see people's faces every day to look for differences. And just making sure that students know that even though they're online, they're still part of our system, and that there are still supports out there, and teaching them how to access those supports. I'll tell you very quickly, yesterday I had a student in very serious need reach out to me directly. So it's working.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. I was talking to a mother in the county the other day, and their child had been given a little cuddly toy by her teacher, just as a reminder, that she could hold it tight at night and know that she wasn't alone. And I thought that was a lovely touch, using some of those softer relational skills during this time.
Yeah, Pastor, our schools, are designed for interaction, and students and children are designed for interaction. And we have a lot of them just feeling isolated. It's creating anxiety and some of those issues. So we can't forget about the adults either, because they're struggling also.
Absolutely. As a parent, I would give a hearty agreement to that as well. Thank you.
I'm just curious, how many of you on the call, just raise your hand, have kids or grandkids in the system, in our school system? All right, quite a few. Thank you.
Now, Dr. Griffin, you said you were able to kind of read mental health through the screen. What are you reading about us?
I'll do a complete analysis at the end of the call.
All right. Thank you.
Free of charge.
Randy, what about you? What have been some of the biggest obstacles for you as our city manager this year?
Well, Andy, what we face in Casselberry is maybe a different order of magnitude than what the school board has faced, but it's been dealing with COVID, adapting through that. First, my compliments to Walt, the school board, and all of his staff. They've done amazing work coping with this. Just to focus on mental health, the whole thing of coordinating schools and operating and dealing with all the students and the parents and other government influences. It's amazing what they've done. But here at the city, we had to cope too. And so we had to adapt quickly when COVID emerged. We had to deal with closing City Hall and dispersing our workers to work from home as much as possible. And then we had to devise our own plans for reopening, phasing in operations here, bringing people back, how far to go with what and when. But dealing with COVID was a big deal. We did a really good job of dispersing our employees. We had laptops ready to go, and they adapted really, really quickly. And we were able to stay productive and continue our level of service as best we could. And I think it went well. Further, we had to, repurpose our police and our code enforcement folks, and they had to go out and try to keep our community safe as best we could. And so we spent a lot of time out there visiting businesses and making sure everybody was following the rules, and visiting again and doing it as gently as possible with a focus on education. But that was something that had to be accomplished too. So I guess that's the answer, dealing with COVID.
Yeah. You've done a great job. I loved seeing during that time, this time, just the servant's attitude of some of your staff who've done things that they weren't hired to do for the good of the cause. And that's been very impressive.
Thank you, Andy.
Mayor Henson, you've been sitting in this mayoral seat for a few months now, but from your vantage point, what are some of the biggest obstacles that you've experienced?
It's always communication with the general public. There's with the onset of Facebook and all the social media. It must be true because it's on Facebook, and it's a little frustrating because it's a constant communications issue, and then you add in the Sunshine Law on top of it, and it becomes very cumbersome for elected officials to communicate. We can talk one-on-one with somebody, but if there's another commissioner around, we've got to be vigilant of what we're doing. So it's cumbersome, but we work through it. Obviously COVID has thrown a monkey wrench into my first few months, but we're working through it. We're getting better, but we're trying to improve our communication skills, and I think that will go a long way.
That's great. Thank you. Yeah, it's everything. Communication. Chief, in your world, from your view, from your chair, what have been some of the biggest obstacles this year?
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for this opportunity. Andy, it's always a pleasure to see you. I would have to jump on the wagon of the COVID, especially, in the realm of trying to keep our community safe, but also balancing the needs and the safety of all of our employees. Because even though COVID came about, it didn't negate what we as law enforcement still needed to accomplish out in the community to keep everyone safe. So we had a delicate balance of making sure that we can keep our employees safe while providing that level of service to the community. So obviously with all the PPE gear, trying to get that so the employees have the necessary safety equipment, right, to be able to perform what they needed to do. And then look at innovative ways that we were able to provide that level of service to the community. So changing up some of our processes and procedures, taking some of the lesser crimes and doing telephone reports so that we minimized the exposure risks to our employees and to the citizens as well. And then, from training, how do we continue with the needs to train our employees in a safe way, to include the new employees that we still needed to bring on to fill vacancies. So that was one of the biggest challenges or obstacles that we had. And I think there's some positives that did come out of it because it gave us an opportunity to kind of reimagine some of the things that we do in the community and how can we provide a more efficient level of service moving forward. And then working with all the other agencies and the sheriff's office and collaborative efforts to try to keep the community safe has been, there's been a positive side of it, believe it or not, that we think is going to carry us moving forward. COVID was certainly a huge impact of what we did. Then keeping those safety measures in place even now, right? We still have to be mindful. So we're a year into it, but we want to make sure that we're not slowing down those safety efforts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you for doing that on behalf of all of us. I know it hasn't been an easy task in front of this COVID narrative, but appreciate all that your folks have done and the creativity to overcome and work around those obstacles. Chief, let me stick with you for the next question. I'm a big believer that everything kind of rises or falls on leadership. When you have a good leader in place, things tend to go a little bit better. When you have a not so great leader in place, things can struggle a little bit. But I think one of the traits of great leaders that you all embody is that leaders are learners. What are some of the things that you have learned this past year specifically about your own personal leadership?
Well, I think one of the important things that we've all been able to learn, not necessarily just me, is how valuable empathy is. To realize that you have to understand people's perspectives. Although something may appear to be something on its surface, it's important to listen and try to understand with an empathetic ear what is actually happening in someone's life. And that could be someone in the community, or it could be someone in your own family or in our workforce. So I think that's been something that's been really important to sit back. I think we all kind of still did it. I think that's just part of our nature. However, with the challenges that we've had last year, I think that it's been a greater emphasis and it's become more prevalent, more into the forefront instead of the background. Mm-hmm. And I think that's been really important as we move through this last year. And then to also remind each of us that there is a balance between the work and the home. And we need to make sure that we are creating that balance for our own mental health as well. It's very important for everybody. So to try to encourage that to our employees, to understand that there is that balance, and to understand that listen to what is being communicated to you, because that's a critical function of what we need to do. So I think that's been very important. And then teamwork. Obviously, teamwork is extremely valuable. And this past year has really demonstrated that with that quality level of teamwork, we can come together and be creative, be innovative, and come up with some really good solutions to some what would normally be considered normal problems.
Yeah. Chief, as you're talking about those traits, empathy and balance and teamwork, and our reprioritizing of them, that almost feels like it's a silver lining through this tough time.
I think to some degree, I would agree with that. It gives each of us an opportunity to refocus a little bit, because in our hectic life, especially the way the world has become with such an instant or a belief that everything has to be instantly resolved and managed, and is that fast pace, to have been able to kind of kick back a little bit and refocus what was really important is been interesting dynamic to watch from where I sit, and to include myself, right? We have to refocus, slow down a little bit, and understand what's truly important. And then that makes us better at what we do every single day in our work life.
Thank you. Dr. Griffin, let me turn that to you. I was on the search committee for your replacement, and as many know, your approval rating was in the 90s. You are just dearly loved. I'd love for you to write a book on leadership someday. What would the latest chapter be about?
Hands down, it would be about relying on experts around you. As we navigated through this pandemic, it became a very political discussion. And I got really, really good at just being respectful, but keeping the political views at bay, while I worked with virologists and our major hospitals on medical and science guidance throughout this. Nemours has been fantastic. Orlando Health, Advent, Central Florida Regional. I have an advisory group of virologists and hospital administrators who guide me through this, and I feel very empowered. We had a small group, but a noisy group of adults who didn't think students should have to wear masks at schools. When I meet with the medical professionals and they tell me, hands down, unanimously, that is the number one thing to do, I feel very empowered saying that. It's not my opinion. So chapter 10 would be relying on experts and not trying or pretending you're an expert in all areas.
That's good. Matt Henson, what about you? What leadership lessons have you learned recently?
Well, I think my goal is to be a better listener. I've been involved in the city for well over 30 years, and I take a lot of things for granted. I assume that people know things or should know things that I know, and it's just not the case. Something as simple as how the meeting operates and how the city has done things. So I have to back up and just listen more and try to get a level of understanding of what people are talking about and how to address them respectfully.
Listening more, that's a lesson that my wife is constantly inviting me to learn. So thank you for that. That's good. Randy, what about you? What leadership lesson have you learned through these challenges?
For me, it falls back on COVID and the experiences we had with that. It kind of touches on kind of what Walt had to go through, different order of magnitude. But the idea of managing through that experience, especially with so much unknown and so much changing all the time, it was really important to find a way to find that place that everyone could always agree on at any point in time. Working with my commission and with my staff, we're dealing with folks who, on one side are afraid, truly, and others, are, looking to get past this and get back to more normal, and finding that sweet spot where we could always agree on a matter of policy as those policies changed, and keeping everyone united. That was the challenge I dealt with, and I learned a lot from.
Yeah, that's good. I like that, finding the sweet spot. That's a very applicable thing in all of our leadership. We've talked about obstacles. We've talked about lessons. What are some of the things that you are most proud of accomplishing this year? And let's start with Chief Krantz. What are some of the things that you're most proud of, Chief?
All right, here we go. Got me unmuted again. I'm most proud of the teamwork, the coming together that our team has done here during these challenging times. They persevered through all the different challenges that we've been faced with, from dealing with the COVID, obviously, and from working with the changing call it criteria, if you will, from the CDC relative to their guideline dealing with the COVID, and just managing and weathering the storm. I'm quite proud of the men and women of the great work that they've done managing that piece while juggling the importance of their mission out here and coming together and working as that team. And it has paid dividends. I mean, again, for the 5th year in a row, we've seen a crime reduction throughout this process. And some would have argued that maybe there would have been some increases, and some areas have experienced increases. And we've been blessed that we haven't had those. So just the great work that the men and women did, it's been a tremendous blessing for our city.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Chief. You and I were in a meeting together recently. I don't quite remember where, and you were sharing some of the crime statistics from the past year. Not to put you on the spot, but I mean there was some double-digit decreases in many of the things that you track. Can you just brag on yourself a little bit more?
Well, I don't know about bragging. I'll be bragging on the men and women and the great work that they've done. For again, like I said, 5th year, this year we saw an overall 14% reduction in our overall crime in the city, which is tremendous. Then when we compare 2016 to 2020, what we've seen is a 30% reduction in violent crime and a 43% reduction in our property crimes, which is tremendous. One of the ones that I really like to see, to brag about a little bit, is our crime rate. And the crime rate is the number of crimes per 1,000 residents within each of the communities the FBI looks at. And we have reduced our crime rate by 34% during that same time period. So it's just been tremendous work, tremendous effort, staying focused on what the concerns are in our community. And the men and women have bought into the philosophy of, regardless of the size of our city, one crime has a tremendous impact on the victims and in our community. And it's important that we understand where that could be happening and who might be doing it, and what then can we do proactively to be a deterrent, to detect it, and then to apprehend those responsible for it. So the men and women have just been tremendously helpful and understanding of the importance, and have just bought into it. And I could not be more proud of the efforts that they have performed.
Those are some incredible statistics to hear, and congratulations to you and your department for helping build those. Matt Henson, what are you most proud of that the city has done and accomplished this past year?
Well, I'd have to say that we're investing into our city in areas that quite frankly we're being proactive. We just broke ground on a public works complex that it's long overdue. It's outlived its service life, and our employees deserve better working conditions than they've had to tolerate for a while. So I'm just really pleased with the direction the city's going. Really looking forward to the improvements of the parks. We're getting ready to start Secret Lake Park very shortly and improve that park. We've just got so many neat things happening in Casselberry. It's really impressive. But I'm happy with where we're at, and I'm really optimistic about where we're going.
Is that someone calling you right now, Dave, with some more great news?
Unfortunately, yes. It never stops. You know, I've got something going all the time, but it's fun. It's exciting. We've got a lot of neat things happening in the city, and it's really a good place to be. I'm in the best place because Randy has to deal with 5 egos. Whenever I see a politician that gets too big a head on his shoulders, I just look at him. I'm like, hey, look, all you did was win a popularity contest. So, if you look at it that way, Randy's got the egos that he has to deal with. He's got the tough job. I've got the easy job.
Randy, to build on what Mayor Henson said, not in terms of egos, but in terms of pride. What are some of the things that you're proud that our city has accomplished this past year?
Well, anyway, I appreciate Mayor Henson's comments. I've got a few other personalities that I'm dealing with besides my commission, but I'm very pleased to work with all my commissioners. They're great. We have a really good commission here in the city of Casselberry. As points of pride go, about this time last year, we took to the voters a referendum for them to decide whether or not to support the expansion and improvements of our parks with a $24 million bond issue. And that was the consequence of about a 4-year public process of planning and engagement that, even when we got to the day of the election, it was like, we don't know how this is going to turn out. And to find that the voters overwhelmingly supported it, just as COVID was emerging, that was just a great point of pride. Very proud of my staff, for pursuing it. And proud of the community for supporting it. So that was a really big deal. Something else that I'm proud of, but it's more personal. It's maybe even selfish, but about the same time, several years ago, we entered into a consolidation with Seminole County to move fire operations there and away from the city of Casselberry. And there's a lot of reasons for it. But it came with some strings. And this past year, we finally emerged to a point where we're no longer under any financial obligation to Seminole County for future fire operations. And it brings more clarity to, what we're doing as far as investing and moving towards in our future. So those are things that I'm very proud of. And I'm always really, really proud of my staff.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. It takes a lot of humility to manage some of those egos sometimes, Randy, and you lead with a humility. We're grateful for that. Dr. Griffin.
And a sense of humor.
And a sense of humor. That's right. Dr. Griffin, what are you most proud of this past year?
Hands down, most proud that we were able to open schools and offer family choices on August 17th. Some districts in Florida didn't open until October, and some districts around the country still have not opened. Here we are getting ready to close out our school year. And to maintain that sense of normalcy as much as possible during a very unusual year. We have some great metrics that have come out this year. We posted our highest graduation rate ever in the history of Seminole County, 94.5%. Our STEM ranking is number one in the state again. And the headline this year was number one again, but this year it's not even close because we kept moving the system, not getting stagnant during all this. And we recently just rolled out our second physics bus. We're going to have 3 altogether. And our physics buses are designed to go around to our elementary schools, engage young students in physics, build up that math, science, technology confidence that a lot of especially females don't grow up with. Having a granddaughter in second grade, I want her to grow up knowing that she could be anything she wants to be. And having that STEM bus just running out there and helping out is huge. And of course, I have to mention, how many of you have driven past Casselberry Elementary School recently? There's a new school coming through the ground. Thank you to our board members. We'll be opening a big classroom building around Thanksgiving with final completion ready for the 22-23 school year. I can go on and on and on, but I'm very proud that we kept school going as much as possible this year.
Mm-hmm. As a parent of 2 kids who were home much longer than I wanted them to be, thank you for allowing them to come back. Final question. We have just under
these days.
We have about 5 minutes left. Last question, Dr. Griffin, I'll start with you. Perhaps your answer will be very different from the others. What are you most optimistic about accomplishing in the next year?
I'm most optimistic, hands down, about the COVID vaccine. I really think that when we get the majority of our population vaccinated, people are going to relax a little bit. And I'm hoping that life gets back to normal.
Any personal news that you're optimistic about?
Well, very, very optimistic. The school board made a fantastic choice the other night in selecting Sarita Beeman. I'm anxious for you all to meet her. She is a brilliant educator. And although she's a very experienced attorney, she's going to be a beginning superintendent. And with that is going to come a lot of support. But her heart is in the right place for this job. I've had her under my wing for 9 years with every educational experience that I can give her. And it's going to be fun from the sidelines watching where she takes this district. I know because we've worked so much on every single project I've been engaged on. It's going to be fun watching her take this district to the next level. So very excited about that.
Thank you. And we wish you, Dr. Griffin, all the very best on your retirement. And Ms. Bowman, we offer you our congratulations again and wish you the very best as well. Randy, what about you? What are you optimistic for this next year?
Well, the city has been working for a while to get into a position, a place where we're about to expand in a whole bunch of different areas in capital improvements. And so this next year, I think we're going to be breaking ground in Secret Lake Park in order to make a whole series of improvements there. We're going to continue with the reconstruction of the Public Works compound, just a revisioning of in some areas, nearly 60-year-old facility. We're going to, I hope, break ground on a new police station. And Chief Krantz can talk some more about that. And I'm looking forward to our being able to, again, host events in Lake Concord Park and other areas of the city. I think that will be coming maybe as soon as the end of May. So looking forward to normal also. But anyway, I'm looking forward to a lot.
Absolutely. Thank you. Mayor Henson.
Well, it's just an exciting time to be involved in the city. We've got so many neat things happening. The Public Works complex, as Randy mentioned, the parks improvements, the new police station. We're investing. I joke we're spending money like drunken sailors, but we're not spending it. We're investing it. and not being disparaging to drunken sailors, but bottom line is we have invested a lot of money in the water department so that we don't have problems. Other communities are having some problems, and we're trying to be proactive. We know where our system is aging, and we have that under control. We've got a plan. We've got a 5-year plan stretched out, and we stick to it. We're investing. You can't go around the city without seeing infrastructure being improved. And it's really exciting times in Casselberry because I think everybody can see the improvements in Casselberry over the years. And it's just going to continue.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Thank you. And finally, Chief Krantz, what are you optimistic for and about this next year?
Well, to jump on board with what the city manager was talking about, I'll certainly speak to the PD. The city manager and the commissioners years ago were understanding of the needs moving forward in the future and have planned on a new PD building. So it's coming to fruition. We're in the beginning stages of it in the design, getting into the schematics. So we're excited about that. So we're certainly excited about finalizing that process and getting the architectural plans finalized so that we can start moving forward, hopefully beginning of next year with the actual project itself. So we're all excited about it here. The team is excited to have the opportunity to really be into the design aspects of it. And so they're all involved. We've included the team members in helping design what their space needs will be. So it's going to be a tremendous team effort, and they're all very excited about it. The other part of it is I'm really excited about the additional training opportunities that we're going to be trying to give our team, and also some things with the community. Obviously, with the concerns in the world regarding some of the policing initiatives, we've all done a good job here in Central Florida with the policing. We got very professional police organizations, and we provide a high level of training, but we're going to continue to do that, especially with our new hires, to provide them those types of trainings that are important for us, like crisis intervention. When we talk about the mental health related issues earlier, it's so important that we as law enforcement recognize as early as possible how we can help through some of those issues. And it doesn't necessitate any type of enforcement action. It can be just through communication and talking and de-escalation. There's so many things that we can have that positive outcome on that doesn't result in an arrest. So we're very much optimistic about continuing those endeavors. And also, something that is brewing in its initial infancy stages is we're looking to help build a police foundation with our community members. And what that foundation would be is a 501c3 that would help with the department's needs and also with the employees' needs. That was one of the primary driving factors for this, is to say that if we have an employee who has a financial need, that the foundation might be able to step in and help, because unfortunately there are times when there are circumstances beyond an employee's control that puts them into a dire situation. And we want to be able to maybe lift that person up and be able to help, give them a helping hand to get them over that hurdle, to try to help minimize some of those additional outlying stressors in their life so that they can continue to move forward. So looking forward to helping get that thing moving along here this next year as well.
Lots of exciting things are brewing. We are right out of time. So, Kinsey, I'm going to hand back to you in just a second. But first, let me say thank you to all of our guests. I don't know how you put your hands together, maybe use a little graphic. But thank you, Chief Krantz. Thank you, Mayor Henson. Thank you, Randy Newland. Thank you, Dr. Griffin. Everything does rise or fall on leadership, and our community is rising because of your leadership. So thank you very much.